Hello everybody and welcome to another online virtual assembly. This one is going to be all about being a good digital citizen. Now, good digital citizen, you say, what might that be? Well, if we know that a citizen is a person who lives in a particular place, those people enjoy certain privileges for being a member of that, or being a citizen of that place, but they're also expected to behave in certain ways and follow the rules. So, for example, a UK citizen is entitled to an education, they're entitled to healthcare, but to be a good citizen, we'd expect people to follow the laws and the rules and be respectful. So, what do you think a good digital citizen is? So I'm going to ask you now to pause the video and for you to have a discussion with your class about what that might be. Okay, so hopefully you had a really good discussion then, and you've come up with something like this, that a good digital citizen is someone who, when using technology or on the internet, they behave in an appropriate, respectful, and in a good way, responsibly, and treats each other respectfully. That's what I would say a good digital citizen is. Now, good digital citizens and good citizens have lots in common, and it's important to be both of those things. So have a look at this next screen. You can see it's a Venn diagram. So Mrs. Holstead will be very pleased because we're doing some maths as well. You can see that it's got good citizens, good digital citizens, and both. And I'm going to ask you now to pause the video and to decide where you think those actions at the top, so pick up litter, protect online profiles, where you think on the Venn diagram that should go. And if you want to add any more, then that will be fantastic. So you can pause your video now. Okay, so hopefully you were able to separate all of those things into what's a good citizen, what's a good digital citizen, and what could fall into both. But as we said, it's really important to be both of these things. So hopefully your answers look something like this. A good citizen would pick up litter, volunteer, recycle, do nice things for others. A good digital citizen would report inappropriate online behaviour, protect online profiles, be aware of digital footprints. We'll talk about that later. Both should care for the environment, keep safe, be polite, be responsible, respect the law, say no to bullying, and keep others safe. So I'm going to be asking you to think during this assembly, are you a good digital citizen? Because I know most of the children in this school are good citizens. In fact, all of you. But I think some of you, when it comes to being good digital citizens, make some really bad choices. So I want you to have a think about that while we watch the rest of the presentation. So we're going to hear today about Joe. Joe's story is all about cyberbullying. And again, you're thinking, we've done this loads. But it's such an important message. And some of you don't see your behaviour online as being bullying. And it is. If you are not showing respect to someone and you are behaving badly online, that is part of cyberbullying. So let's have a look. And I want you to have a think about Joe. Is Joe a good digital citizen? And are the people around him who he interacts with, are they good digital citizens? At the end of each slide, I will ask a question and you can stop and pause the video, have a chat, and then we'll carry on. So here's Joe. He loves online gaming, as many of you do. Many of you also love other online things, social media, TikTok, things that are age restricted and that many of you shouldn't be on, but you do go on them. So if you're going to use them, you need to use them responsibly. Now, here is Joe's gaming profile. Can you see any problems with it? what could happen? So I'm going to ask you to pause the video now. Oh, going to ask you to pause the video now and discuss what could be wrong with his profile. Hopefully you identified the fact that he's put his school on there, his telephone number, his email address. So he has not got a secure profile at all, even a photograph of him on there as well. So anybody knows now who he is, how to contact him, and so not safe at all. And that's one thing you are taught from being very young, is not to share your personal details online. Okay, so look at this. Joe is a winner. He's good at gaming and he wins a lot. Is there anything wrong with that? Of course not. But as long as when you win, you treat people respectfully, you don't rub it in or are nasty about it. And Joe isn't. Joe's really kind and he accepts that he's won, but he wouldn't be ever rude to anyone else. However, Joe gets really nasty messages when he's won on his gaming chat. He replies to them and he tells them that they've really upset him and could they stop? What should Joe not have done and what should he do now? So I want you to have a think. He's replied to the nasty messages. He's asked them to stop. Should he have done that? If not, what should he have done? So you can pause the video and have a chat about it now. Yeah, that's right. What he shouldn't have done is he shouldn't have replied to them, because quite often when you reply to people, that's what they want. They're looking for a reaction. They're looking for you to come back at them, and they've got what they want. They've upset you and they've made you cross. The best thing would be to ignore, block, and tell someone, which I'm sure is what you all came up with. There he is. He deletes the messages and they're still coming. So we've already said that he should delete, block, and tell someone. But he doesn't. He gets really upset and he stops playing his game and he just deletes everything off his console. Did he need to do that completely? No, I think we've already said what he should do. Now he notices he's getting nasty mobile phone messages like the ones on his game. Again, he messages back telling the sender to stop. Has he done the right thing? Again, you can pause the video and discuss whether you think he's done the right thing. Because obviously, if he's getting the messages on his mobile phone, where have they got the number from? Either his gaming profile or is it somebody he knows? And now he started getting emails with horrible pictures in the attachments. What shouldn't you do if you get an email from a stranger that has a link or attachment? Again, stop the video, have a little chat. Absolutely. You never reply to the nasty text messages. And if you get an email or a picture sent or anything through that you don't know and it has a link, you do not click on it. Again, you can block, you can delete, or you tell somebody, you show an adult. If this is on a computer game, you can report on that game as well, can't you? Joe thinks he knows who's sending the messages. There's one bully at his school, but a load of other kids join in because they think it's funny. So now something that's happened at home on the internet has started to affect what's happening in school. And this is what we're finding. We're finding that things that have happened on games or in apps are now coming into school and causing problems in school. So again, what do you think Joe should do? And what about the people who are laughing? Are they to blame as well? Again, I'd like you to pause the video and have a little chat. Absolutely. I hope that you all said that Joe needs to tell somebody, not reply to the bully, but tell somebody what's going on. And the people who are laughing, they are to blame, because really, what should they have been doing? They should have been either telling an adult or taking Joe away and saying, Joe, come with us. But instead, they've laughed. And that means that the bully has been encouraged and will carry on doing it. Poor Joe. Here he is. He's so worried that he can't eat, sleep, or concentrate. Luckily, his mum noticed there's something wrong, but sometimes, and especially at the moment, parents are so busy and everything's going on that they might not always notice. You have to tell someone, and it doesn't have to be mum, be dad, big brother, auntie, uncle, grandparent, someone at school. Doesn't matter, as long as you can tell someone. So what should Joe do? And what could he be worried about? Well, I think we all know what he should do. He should tell his mum. And I think he's worried about the way he's feeling and the way people are treating him. And he can't go to school and he can't go online. What do you think mum might do if Joe tells her? Pause the video if you want to discuss anything. Joe actually finally talks to his mum, and there are still nasty messages appearing on his phone and email, and he shows her and he tells her that he thinks he knows who the bully is or who the bullies are. Mum knows what to do. Do you? So what do you think mum's going to do? Pause the video, have a chat. That's right. Mum goes into school and shows Joe's teachers the messages. Now, mum isn't being, a telltale. We have to know, because if it's making people unhappy, we have to know so we can do something about it. And actually, when mum came in with Joe's phone, the teachers had loads of complaints from other parents and carers about the same thing. And they all think they knew who the bully was. So you don't know, other children might be suffering like you in silence. So by telling someone, you might actually be helping someone else. And I've had lots of parents who send me screenshots or who come in and show me phones and messages. And I've, spoken to many of you about it. And, we've got to tell, because without telling someone, it won't stop. So the school deals with the bullies and makes them understand that what they did was wrong. And that includes, if you remember, the ones who laughed at what the bully was doing. Because as I said, if you laugh at a bully or you encourage them, you're just as bad as they are. You really need to help and stop and tell somebody. So here's Joe's new gamer profile. What's he changed? Is this better? Pause the video, have a little chat. Absolutely. He hasn't shared his school, his mobile, or his email. So now his profile is very private and very safe. And if you look, he's even changed his name and his profile picture. So this time, nobody knows what he looks like, just what his cat looks like, and that's okay. So what are the golden rules for dealing with cyberbullies? I think the screen's gone right. There they are. Don't respond and don't reply. Save or screenshot all nasty messages and emails. Tell a trusted adult and block them. They're the golden rules. So you might want to, after this, make a poster or make a little book for some younger children about the rules of what to do when confronted by a cyberbully. Now, I said to you at the beginning, I wanted you to think about whether you are a good digital citizen or not. Hopefully, throughout this whole thing, you've been thinking, I do all of that. I'm okay. I do all the right things. But some of you might be thinking, I've got some changes to make. So let's have a look. Here is my idea of what a good digital citizen does. A good digital citizen stays safe and private online. They have private profiles. They're careful who they chat to. They use appropriate websites. They don't use their personal details. They don't use their proper names. I also think having a really, really strong password is part of that. A good digital citizen doesn't cyberbully anyone. They don't upset when they're on games, chat, messaging, social media. They treat everyone with politeness and respect at all times. If you are being cyberbullied, a good digital citizen would save the messages, block, don't reply, speak to a trusted adult, and know how to report either to Childline, CEOP, Think You Know, or anyone in school. Now, respect. Respect is a massive part of being a good digital citizen. You should respect yourself. When you're putting on content, you know, is it appropriate? Think about the language that's being used. You should respect other people and other people's work. Don't steal other people's work. Respect also comes in the form of if you're trading on these games, you know, either trade and that's it, it's over, it's done. You know, you cannot swap back. I have dealt this year with people who have pretended to be someone else online, or have messaged other people pretending to be other people. That isn't being respectful. That comes in a little bit to cyberbullying as well. You know, think about how you treat someone in real life. Would you spy on someone in real life? Would you pretend to be somebody else in real life? It's not okay. So it's not okay online. Mobile phones. Now we have very strict rules in school, not to use them in school, not even on the playground in the morning, creating TikToks or videos. I don't want to see that. And if I do, there'll be serious consequences. You keep the pin safe. You don't keep details on it. You can register it with immobilize.com, which is if it goes missing, you can make sure it's secure. And then finally, a good digital citizen has a good, or thinks carefully, should I say, about their digital footprint. Your digital footprint is what you leave behind on the internet. Every time you post, every time you share something, every time you comment, that is your digital footprint, and it will last for years. So be careful what you post, be careful where you post, and think before you post. Would you say it to that person? Would you say it to your family or your gran? Would you like your mum or your dad or your gran or your teacher to watch the video you've just made? Is it appropriate? Is someone going to look at this and judge me and think I'm not a very nice person because of it? You've really got to think, because like I say, it lasts for a very long time. I've even heard of people who, there was a young person who applied to be the young mayor for an area. I can't remember what area it was. She applied to be the young mayoress of a town, or the young mayor, and she got the job. And actually she was removed for the job because it came to light that some things she'd posted when she was younger were not very nice and were inappropriate. And they weren't even that bad, but it was felt that it was bad enough that she couldn't do that role. You don't want what you're posting now to affect your chances later on. So other places you can get information and help, you can go to the Think You Know website, CEOP, Childline, or you can speak to your class teacher, your parents, or of course, you know, I'm always available. Okay, so hopefully you've had a really good think today about whether or not you're a good digital citizen. And if you're not, if there's been a few things you've done, a few mistakes made, then you can put those right. It'd be lovely if people could do some work to do with this. You might want to make posters, and I'd be happy to have those. If you want to bring them to me or send them to me, that'd be lovely. Thank you for listening. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've learned something, and I'll see you all very, very soon.